Hello everyone, I'm LB. It's so nice to see you face to face. I just wanted to come on here, come in front of the video camera and really just introduce myself other than just in my writings, and that way you get to hear my tone for this last blog of the year, blog/vlog this time. So thank you to all the people that have been reading from the beginning. It just really means so much to me that you guys are staying with it. So for this very last post of the year 2018, I wanted to talk about new beginnings. Tell you guys about a story that happened to me. And I just hope that it inspires you. Before I do go into the story, I wanted to just let you know that down below there is the written version of the story, and so if you want more details or just want to read it instead, go ahead and just scroll down at the bottom of this video and you can just go ahead and read it. So going off of my last post, I told you guys about how I got the job that I had been praying for. I wanted to really just like tell the story of how it all happened, because it was just like so crazy. There was so many coincidences that just were more than a coincidence, I felt. In late September, I was laid off from my full-time job that I had just gotten right out of college, and I was super grateful for it. It helped pay for my wedding. I worked like over 50 hours a week, and it just really drained me and I got burnt out. It was a relief, basically. You know, it was a shock, but because I didn't see it coming, but you know, in the end, like, I am so grateful that that happened and that I went through that at, you know, a young age. I know how to bounce back now. Like, if that were to ever happen again, or, you know, I can help somebody else in that circumstance because I've been through it. After taking a step back, you know, dusting myself off, picking myself back up again with the help of my family and my friends, yeah, the people that reached out, like, I am forever grateful, because if that didn't happen, you know, I would have been struggling to pick myself back up again. You know, my husband and I, we said we really need community. We need people around us to help us get through this, because not only was it, you know, a devastation to just me, but it hurt the people around me, especially my husband, because he was now the breadwinner, the sole breadwinner of the house, and so that was a struggle, and we had to figure that out, and you know, dip into our savings and all of that, and so it takes more than two in this type of loss. To this luncheon, and some of the, you know, the head pastor, the assistant pastors were there, and so I introduced myself, my husband and I, and it got to that question of, so what do you do? And I began to hate that question. I dreaded it every time. I was like, this is the one, like, I never noticed like how many people, or it's not even how many people, but just how many times you get asked that. It opened up the door to meeting who I call a really good friend now. She has, I want to acknowledge like their privacy, so I'm not going to use any name. She told me about what she did, and I shared with her like what I was going through, that I had just lost my job, and this is what I like to do. Yeah, I love talking to people, but I hate talking to people through a video, so but we're getting over that, people. Okay, so anyways, I feel like I'm rambling here. We're gonna get back on track. Okay, so from the luncheon, she lit up when she was talking about it. Did my research online about the company, and then the next day I was like, okay, like, I prayed about it, I applied, I put in my application, and mind you, she said that, you know, we don't really hire a lot, and when we do, it's normally like in the springtime. Didn't have high hopes whatsoever. You know, people were just like, apply anywhere, just get in where you can, and, you know, make it work and just earn some money. And I was just like, you know, it's like, God, I am gonna trust you with my finances, because I truly don't believe that I am supposed to be thrown into another position where I'm unhappy. I wasn't gonna just settle for anything less than where I was already at, because I was put in that position for a reason, to learn all of the things that I learned. That was not for nothing. And so that's what I told myself, and I told God. I was like, I'm not just gonna go put in my application anywhere. So I'm gonna stop doing that. So I stopped doing that, and I really prayed about this one position. So this job, I got an email a week later. So fast forward, I have about 4 interviews and just fell in love with the company. It was like a waiting period of like, I'm gonna hear about the final offer, you know, so just trying to like be patient. And within that time, my husband has this meeting with like 3 gentlemen, and had nothing to do with me, but they're, you know, chatting away. But my husband starts to talk about me, like, you know, his other half, and the guys just asked like, oh, like, what does she do? And my husband, like, you know, had to tell the story of, well, she's not working right now, but you know, we're really hoping, we're praying on this one job that she's gotten a few interviews for, and so we're hoping to hear back that she, you know, really got it. We're just trying again, picking up another conversation, and meanwhile, he has this notepad and he's writing in it, just jotting down notes as he's going. And so my husband starts talking about what I like to do, or like the things that I enjoyed about my other job affairs. And then he says, you know, again, like, we're really hoping that she hears back from this one company. And so the guy was like, if you don't mind me asking, what's the company? And he said the company name, and the guy goes, hold on a minute, reaches down into his backpack, pulls out his notepad, and shows all the gentlemen that were sitting there the company name in which I was hoping to get the job, right? That company. Question mark, wife, question mark. Like, what? This guy doesn't know me, has never met me, and writes down the company name in which I had already like had several interviews for. Everyone's jaw dropped. I was just like, what? That's crazy. So our boss just came in. Our boss now. Our boss just came in, and he said that he met up with the gentleman that my husband sat down with, who wrote the note, and he gave him that note and then told him the story of like what just happened. And so then I guess shared that story with a few of the team members, because it was just like, what? And they had already hired me. We hadn't heard that story yet. And so then it was just like a confirmation for not only me, but my boss and the whole team, questioning, like, God, like, am I really, you know, supposed to be here? Is this what you wanted? Like, he has the receipt. Our boss has the receipt. And now I have the receipt that, like, God made this happen. If you are stuck in this situation where you are not feeling fulfilled, you're not getting out what you're putting in, I encourage you, inspire you to get out of that situation. And it's so scary. I was not moving. From where I was, no matter how happy I was, because I am not a quitter, right? I am not a quitter. I do not quit. I do not give up. And I don't want to put out there that like God made me lose my job, but I don't believe that. But I think he gave it a little nudge. And I think that he had a huge part in, he has a part in everything, but I think because I wasn't moving, I think he moved me and said, you have to get out of this situation. I think it takes sometimes something to die, and something will rise up after that. I just encourage anybody out there that, is feeling stuck to just go for it. Take the leap. It's incredibly scary, but if you don't do it, someone else will.